Hello friends, welcome back to our channel IT India. This is going to be session 5 for the series that we have started, AWS tutorials for beginners. In this video, we are going to discuss the topic, what is EC2 instance and how to launch it. And we will also have some overview about the pricing for Amazon EC2. So let's start our video with the topic, what is Amazon EC2. So Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, that is Amazon EC2, provides you on-demand scalable computing capacity in Amazon Web Services Cloud, that is AWS Cloud. Using Amazon EC2 reduces hardware cost so you can develop and deploy application faster, because you are not supposed to buy hardware first and to pay the complete cost of that hardware. You are just going to use the hardware of AWS by paying some charges. So due to that reason, you can develop and deploy your application faster. You can use Amazon EC2 to launch as many or as few virtual servers as you need, configure security group and networking, and manage storage. You can add capacity, basically that is called scale up, to handle compute heavy tasks such as monthly or yearly process or spikes in the website traffic. When usage decreases, you can reduce the capacity, that is scale down again. So this is how Amazon EC2 helps you in running your business or application. And here's the architecture. However, this is very simple or basic architecture, I can say. So this is AWS Cloud. You can consider this box as AWS Cloud. And here is the private key that you will have on your laptop or on your local machine. And from that, when you try to connect to the cloud or to the instance, you will use this private key, and then you will be able to access the instance via security group, which will have one EBS attached to it, and the instance here is in the public subnet. And as it is in the public subnet, so you are going to use internet gateway to access that VPC. In case it would have been private instance, then there would have been net gateway. We will talk about it further in networking sessions. You will get clear understanding on that as well. But basically, I want to show you a basic overview here. To connect to the instance on which EBS is attached, you need private key, and you can access either using internet gateway or net gateway, depending on the subnet of the instance, if it is public or private. So now, how to launch EC2 instance in AWS? So basically, there are multiple ways for launching EC2 instance in AWS. First one is from Amazon EC2 console. Use the launch instance wizard to specify the launch parameter. I will show you that from the AWS console itself. Then again from Amazon EC2 console, create a launch template and launch the instance from the launch template. And then use an existing instance as the base. So this simply means like you are supposed to create AMI from the existing instance, and then you can create the instance from that. And then use an AMI that you purchased from the AWS marketplace. And then use an AMI that you select. And then AWS tools for Windows PowerShell. So you can use that as well. Use an AMI that you select. However, to be very true, I'm not really sure on this point because I'm more familiar with Linux, not Windows. And then AWS CLI. Use EC2 Fleet to provision capacity across different EC2 instance types and availability zones, and across on-demand instance, reserved instance, and spot instance purchased models. I will explain you about these purchase models as well in this video itself. Then AWS CloudFormation. Use a CloudFormation template to specify an instance. So I'm not going to discuss all these methods in this video itself, but I'm going to discuss few, and for rest of the methods, I will make individual videos and will explain the complete method there. So we are here in the AWS console itself. So here I'm going to EC2. However, we have launched in this series already, but I will explain a little bit more here. So here you have to click on launch instance, and then first EC2, you can name it like that. Here we are selecting quick start AMI itself. We can select Amazon Linux 2 as well. Here we are selecting instance type. Instance type does simply indicates how much vCPUs and memory the instance will have. We have already discussed about instance types as well in this series itself. If you haven't started this series from the beginning, I would recommend you from the session 1. And then you can see so many instance types here. So right now I'm just going with free tier eligible. then you have to select the key pair here. If you don't have any key pair, you can proceed without key pair as well, but in that case you will not be able to connect to this instance using key pair or even SSH as well. So you can also opt out for create new key pair, and here you can name it anything, test or anything. Key pair type you can choose RSA, that is fine, but you have to wisely choose in between .pem and .ppk. If you are using Mac OS instance or Linux instance, basically the source machine, I'm not talking about the machine that you are launching, I'm talking about the source machine from which you are going to connect. So that is if Mac OS or Linux, then you have to choose PEM here. If you are going to connect from Windows machine to this instance, then you have to use putty, and for that you have to choose .ppk here. So I'm selecting .ppk. And one more thing, if you have created any of these files, you can convert them as well using puttygen. So as of now I'm creating this. Yeah, it has been created and it has got downloaded as well, so that is fine. And now here you have to select network setting, like by clicking this edit option, in which VPC it should be there, what is the subnet preference, auto assign public IP should be enabled or not. If you disable it, this instance will not have any public IP. And then comes to security group. We have already discussed in the previous video about the security group. So we have multiple security groups here. You can select any one of them, and even if you want, you can create a new one as well. So I am just going to select existing one. Here you can configure storage. You can give any size to the volume, but it should not be less than 8. 8 is minimum size required for root volume, because this is going to act root volume of the instance itself. And then there are advanced options. Here you can select multiple things like domain, join directory, instance profile. What is IAM instance profile? I will tell you in further videos. Then host name, auto recovery, and many more things are there, like capacity reservation, 10AC. However, generally we don't use that, and here you can use the user data. So I'm just clicking on launch. Yeah, it has been launched, and after that it will take some considerable time to come in running state and then to pass 2 by 2 checks. I'm refreshing it. It is still taking some time. So once it comes in running state, then it will come in 2 by 2 status checks here. Then you will be able to connect to this instance. I hope this method was clear to you. Next one is create launch template. I will discuss it in further videos, but yeah, use an existing instance as the base. Let me explain you little bit about that. You can see it has come in running state now. Now status check are initializing. So for creating an instance, by taking the reference or base of the existing instance, you can simply create AMI or image, I can say, by going to actions, then image and template, then create image. You need to mention test AMI or anything you can mention, that is fine. So image description, that is your choice. No reboot. You can clearly see here that no reboot is disabled as of now. You can enable that as well. So basically when you are going to create AMI, reboot in the background may happen on the source instance, but if you enable it, so no reboot will happen there, and your server, basically your source server from which you are creating the AMI, will keep running, but that may cause some issues in the file system or in the data of the AMI, but that has rare chance. It is not like that. If you make it no reboot, then it will have some corrupted AMI or something. It is not like that. Then you can create tags here, add new tag, but we don't require that. So create image. So I am creating image, and it generally takes some time to be available. It will be in pending state for some time, and once it is available, you can select the AMI and you can launch an instance from this AMI. This is how it works. And here AMI is already selected, you can see, but you can select few other things like name of the instance, instance type, key pair, network setting. So this is how it works. I hope it was helpful. And now AWS SDK. Use a language specific AWS SDK to launch an instance. So this is also one of the methods. So we have multiple methods to launch instance in AWS. It depends on the use cases. And now pricing for Amazon EC2. So first one, free tier. you can get started with Amazon EC2 for free. Like just right now we had launched one instance and we had selected free tier eligible there. So that is something which is free tier. Then comes on demand instances. On demand instances are the instances in which you pay for the instances that you use by second with a minimum of 60 seconds with no long term commitments or upfront payment. Now savings plan. You can reduce your Amazon EC2 cost by making a commitment to a consistent amount of usage in USD per hour for a term of 1 or 3 years. And then reserved instances. You can reduce your Amazon EC2 cost by making a commitment to a specific instance configuration including instance type and region for a term of 1 or 3 years. And then export instances. Request unused EC2 instances which can reduce your Amazon EC2 cost significantly, but they can be unavailable at any time. And if your load is running on that instance and demand for those instances comes, then your instance may stop anytime suddenly. Dedicated host. Reduce cost by using a physical EC2 server that is fully dedicated for your use, either on demand or as a part of a saving plan. You can use your existing server bound software licenses and get help meeting compliance requirement. And then on demand capacity reservation. Reserve compute capacity for EC2 instances in a specific availability zone for any duration of time. Then per second billing. It removes the cost of unused minutes and second from your bill. AWS pricing calculator. So basically it helps in estimating the charges that will incur for your resources. So AWS pricing calculator is web-based service that you can use to create cost estimates to suit your AWS use cases. This service is useful both for people who have never used AWS and for those who want to reorganize or expand their use case. So basically I will make separate video on it as well by explaining more how to use AWS pricing calculator and how it helps you. Because this is not just for EC2, you can use it for multiple resources to have approximate idea about the cost that you have to pay for using those particular resources. So this was all in this video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great learning and please do subscribe this channel IT India.